Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the fact that we have a big month ahead of us for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I'm going to be focusing on Bitcoin's monthly returns and looking at the seasonality behind the month of September. I'll also talk about some upcoming events during the month of September that I think is going to be very important to pay attention to. So if you guys enjoy the content, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing. Also, this channel is sponsored by FTXUS, which is a great cryptocurrency exchange. You can buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin over at FTXUS. And if you sign up with my link in the description below or through my referral code SNOWYCRYPTO, you can get a 5% discount on exchange fees. All right, so let's dive into Bitcoin here. And given that we just had a new monthly candle coming in just a few hours ago for the month of September, I thought it would be appropriate to start talking about the seasonality behind September and how we do have some pretty major events coming up here in the next few weeks. So what I'm going to show you first is an image of the monthly returns for Bitcoin every single year going back to 2013. So here we are with the monthly returns chart for Bitcoin, and one of the things that I'm noticing here is that September has historically been a pretty negative month overall. You can see that 7 of the last 9 Septembers for Bitcoin have been negative months, and the 2 months that were actually positive were only plus 4% and then plus 7%. So just looking at this graph and the seasonality behind September, we could expect, well, the odds do favor somewhere to the downside. And you can see those targets actually do range from -5 all the way to -20%. Now, clearly we can't just look at this and say it has to be a negative month, but I think it's important to understand what we're also dealing with in terms of the upcoming events and how those could potentially be a huge catalyst for the price during the month of September. But before we do switch into those major events, I think it's pretty interesting to note that even though September has historically been a bad month, we can actually look to October as, basically the reverse, where instead of you having 7 out of 9 negative months, you actually have 7 out of 9 positive months. So that might be something to look forward to if September doesn't turn out to be that great. All right, so the month of September is going to be very eventful. We're going to be looking at the FOMC meeting, the next CPI print, as well as the Ethereum merge. So let's talk about the FOMC meeting first, because I do think this is going to be one of the more important events to be watching out for. And basically, if you don't know by now, this is where the Fed determines the monetary policy, like how much the interest rates are going to be raised. And as of recent, this has been extremely important for Bitcoin because the Fed has been increasing interest rates pretty quickly and then shifted into QT, which is all trying to reduce the inflation. And that does come at the expense of the stock market. And as you know, Bitcoin does seem to have a very strong relation and correlation to the stock market as of late. So if the stock market is responding poorly to that news-driven event and Bitcoin were to follow suit, that could be one of the reasons why September might be a negative month overall. The next major event is going to be the CPI print, which is actually going to occur first in the month of September. That's going to be on the 13th, but I'm just trying to go in order of importance of what I would believe to be the most influential on Bitcoin. Now, this is going to be pretty important as well, considering that we have inflation coming down the last month. And if we were to have 2 consecutive months of inflation coming back down, that could be a very good sign for markets because people would start to have a little more confidence that inflation has peaked, a little more confidence that maybe the Fed has some control on inflation. But if the CPI comes in above expectations and a month-over-month increase, then I would expect markets to most likely not respond well. And that would also relate to that FOMC meeting where if you do have inflation starting to print a month-over-month increase, then that might make the Fed more inclined to hike the rates at a higher amount. And lastly, we've got the Ethereum merge coming up here in the middle of September. And basically, this is going to be more of a crypto-related event. The other 2 events were more concerned about the global economy and that correlation to Bitcoin. But again, the Ethereum merge is coming up here in the middle of September. And this is going to be a huge event more related to the crypto ecosystem. And it's going to be very important to see if it goes successfully, if there is still some hype and demand into that narrative post-merge, or if it becomes a sell the news event. And overall, I am pretty excited to see what comes out of the Ethereum merge. Longer term, I do think it's going to be bullish, but we have to wait and see how the market reacts in the immediate short term following the merge. So I hope you guys did enjoy this content and the analysis. Once again, check out our sponsors in the link in the description below. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.